Hello everyone. If you want to be a trailblazer, a hero, you might have to start with ground zero. Today, as I stand here in the hallowed halls of DAV School U8 to deliver this TED Talk, I can't but be inspired by the wondrous, the magnificent city of Bhubaneswar. The city that was known to be the city of temples, with as many as 700 temples at one point in time. Do you know what is it that is common to all these temples? That one element. A clue lies in the picture that you see on screen. What is that one thing that can probably help you be a trailblazer, without which no ceremony starts, without which there is no worship, without which there is no moving forward? The answer, my dear friends, is a lamp. Yes. Today I will tell you how you can find your own lamp. The lamp as magical as Aladdin's. The lamp that some people are waiting, hoping can grant their wishes. What if I told you today that there is a lamp in all of us? And if you really, really want to, we can find that lamp. So, how do we find that lamp? How do we ensure it helps us become a trailblazer, to have focus as sharp as a laser? Like I told you, we have to start at the beginning. And for me, that starts with L. But the lamp's first alphabet is L. And L is the first clue to what you need to do. Do you know what that L stands for? That L, as per me, stands for longing. It is your longing that will one day help create bonding between reality, dreams, and destiny. Now, the interpretation of dreams has been a subject of intense scrutiny over several centuries, if not millennia, but none was as profound as the one offered by the great philosopher Sigmund Freud. It is he who first said, and I repeat, that dreams are nothing but the physical manifestation of the subconscious conflict between ego and superego. In other words, where there is a dream, there is a way. And to ensure your dreams get turned into reality, you must have within you a sense of longing, one that can lead to a sense of belonging. I had my sense of longing a long, long time back in November 1992. I was a 12-year-old child and had gone to a theater to watch a movie, an animation film. I'm going to give you a clue and you have to try to guess which film I'm talking about. That film had a very, very interesting song which went something like this. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go. I can show a whole new world to you. Well, for that movie, Alan Menken won an Academy Award, an Oscar. And within me was born a sense of longing. What do you think that sense of longing was? Any guesses? Well, it doesn't matter what you're thinking in your mind. It wasn't a singer, by the way. I wanted to be like Aladdin from that movie. I wanted to be like that common person who was no longer common, who was being treated like royalty, who was having his dreams fulfilled, who was surrounded by royalty. I wanted to be like the makers of this film. That film won multiple Oscars. And I had that impossible, crazy dream that maybe someday I can win an Academy Award. Wow, crazy, right? Who has these kinds of dreams? No one. And that's what I thought for a very long time. And that is what happens to us. You have a longing that might or might not lead to a sense of belonging because you don't quite believe in your dreams yourself. You believe they are impossible. So as I stood there at L, I thought, should I leave that dream and do other things? So life happened, things happened. I moved on till one day I once again found the second key. It was now time to find out that that lamp was still yet not done. The next character was remaining, the A in the lamp. Do you know what that A means to me? Any guesses? It's Acumen. Acumen is what is not about your ability. It's what will set you aside as men, as women. It's the ability to take the right decisions at the right time very, very quickly. And the only way I suddenly realized I can work on my acumen is to build myself. I still remember it was June 2010 where I walked into a meeting at IBM where I was working by that time. I was already an engineer doing interesting things at IBM. I'd forgotten all about my dreams, but one particular day I walked into a meeting of Toastmasters International. For those who do not know, Toastmasters International is a worldwide organization headquartered in California. At that time, its motto was to make effective communication a worldwide reality. So I walk into this room and I'm suddenly asked by the guest to speak on an impromptu topic. Now, my idea of impromptu topic was Shushmita Sen winning the Miss Universe pageant by telling about motherhood. I was like, wow, that's brilliant. How can she do that? How can anyone talk impromptu? I was terrified of being on stage. I used to have butterflies, caterpillars, everything together. They were confused. Am I a butterfly? Am I a caterpillar? Am I both? I don't know. I was terrified. But that day, as I walked up to the stage, took a few steps back, pushed back my glasses and started speaking, something happened. The fear vanished. It was as if it has never existed. I felt at that moment as if I was on that flying carpet of Aladdin and I was being raised to the skies. That day I had realized that I can find my acumen. And I started working on my communication skills. I started working on my leadership skills. Since then, Toastmasters, just to let you know, has changed its motto to where leaders are made. And I thought that day that leader in me was born. I started setting goals for myself. I started working on myself. And one after another, I started doing things that I never thought were possible. I became a distinguished Toastmaster. That's the highest honor you can receive in Toastmasters International. Less than 1% of members receive it. I became the first person from Kolkata in around 90 years to have received that. I also became the first person from IBM in India to have received that. I didn't stop there. I went on. I participated in the impromptu speaking known as table topics. And I was a part of District 41, which comprises Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and parts of India. And I became the impromptu speaking champion. Wow, imagine someone who couldn't speak on stage was now the impromptu speaking champion of District 41, which, by the way, was chosen as the world's #1 that year. Had I found my acumen? I don't know. Because after I became a distinguished Toastmaster, I didn't stop there. I took projects about storytelling, and in the year 2014, I participated in a contest, 21 Tales to Tell, was the book that released and became a bestseller, and so many doors and so many windows opened up to me that I was never quite sure of. And therein came a dilemma, which was solved by the third letter. Well, those who are good in English might have been able to guess that by now. But if you look at this picture at what I was doing, you might have a little guesses. So there I was, a Toastmaster of District 41, proudly doing my things, speaking all over the world, doing all kinds of magical things, mentoring people. I never studied in an IIT. I was suddenly a mentor at an IIT. I was a part of the induction program. I was delivering keynotes at IITs, IIMs all over, getting invited all over the world. Such magical things were happening because of Toastmasters. My books were also becoming bestsellers. But that dream somewhere was not yet fulfilled. But it was time, my dear friends, to find out about the next step. I just had to rub that lamp a little bit to find the next step that I had to take. And that came with the next magical letter. Now, before I tell you something, I'm going to give you a clue. It's M, of course. It's not M for madness, thank God. It's something else. Now, here is me at the virtual red carpet of the Stevie Awards, which is supposed to be one of the most premier business awards. That right there is me delivering a keynote in an international IT symposium in Oman. That right there is me receiving an award from the Indian ambassador to Oman. That is me delivering a workshop on creative writing in Jaipur, despite having a ligament tear in my hand. And that's me promoting one of my books on social media. The M, ladies and gentlemen and dear friends, is what I'm going to talk about next. Any ideas what I'm talking about using these pictures? Not very difficult, is it? The M I'm talking about is multitasking. So when opportunities knock your door, don't say no. Don't think of that as a chore. Say yes to multitasking. And that is what I started doing. I believe in giving my 100% to whatever I do, but I believe we should not do it 100% of the time. And as I reached the third stage, multitasking, I suddenly saw my life changing in ways I hadn't thought of before. It was not about no longer having time. It was about making time and stepping forward and doing my little bit for whatever I believed in. I was a consultant at IBM, and roles that I did not know existed came upon me. I was a knowledge sharing champion. I was given a digital gold medal for my knowledge sharing practices around the world. I started receiving more and more Eminence and Excellence Awards. Until date, I've received 18 Eminence and Excellence Awards. By that time, I had become an IBM accredited IT professional. I had won a Brandon Hall Award, which is considered to be an Academy Award by learning, talent, and business professionals worldwide. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. I was making a difference. When I was with my 5-year-old daughter, I would only focus on her. When I was watching that Avengers movie, I would not focus on anything else. You really can't anyway. When I was writing that short story, I would not look at anything else but to tell that to the best of my ability. But I did all of that together. A study published in 2017 November by Michigan State University states that if you want to reduce conflict in your life, you have to practice creative writing. Not surprisingly, creativity has been listed worldwide as the #1 skill to possess. Problem solving, creativity, all of that requires you to use different parts of your brain. If you would have only exercised with your right hand, I don't think it would have made you a better person. So I decided to use both my left side of the brain and the right side of the brain to be analytical as well as creative, and to not ask, but simply to multitask. And life was good. It was busy, it was difficult at times, but I never believed in complaining. I think the worst thing anyone can do is complain about work, because it's really the fortunate who have work in their hands. And so I decided, no more complaints, no more confusion. I have to multitask. But then, that impossible dream of mine, that was still not achieved. And there was one more thing that I needed. The last, do not fear. No matter how big the obstacle, all you need to do is to persevere. It can be very severe, but you have to persevere. At multiple times in my life, I faced difficulties. At one point of time, it crawled into my life as depression. At one point of time, it crawled into my life in the form of illness. When I was diagnosed with COVID, and I was in the hospital for 14 days fighting for my life, at various points of time, the obstacles came, but they also went away because I persevered. I had patience. I had passion. But most importantly, I knew that I had to persevere, no matter how severe. And I did all of that. And slowly, steadily, things got better. At one point of time, I was suddenly listed by Hindustan Times as one of India's top 5 authors to read under short fiction. I made it into Wikipedia. I was like, wow, that's crazy, isn't it? So there were so many things that happened. But what about that dream? 25 years after I had seen the movie Aladdin, something magical happened. I received a call from British Council in November 2017, and I was asked to go there because His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, would be there. And it seemed a few people had been invited, I being one of them. So I went there, and something great happened, and I came back, and I was on my way to something else. I think I was at Abu Dhabi or something, when suddenly, I think my social media just kind of went crazy. You see, Prince Charles had tweeted certain pictures from his visit. One of them was, of course, with the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One of them was with Shilpa Shetty, the winner of Big Brother. There was one more picture Prince Charles had tweeted. This is that picture. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me right there in the center. What you see behind me is my writing that has been converted into illustrations by the multiple Oscar-winning Aardman animations, and I was honored in front of Prince Charles for my contribution to India-UK cultural exchange. That dream of mine, that little carpet that you see, became true, and I felt I was on top of the world. I felt like royalty. I felt I was truly special when I was invited to go to England, and my life changed. So my dear friends, if you want to be a heroine, a hero, if you want to be a trailblazer, all I ask you to do is go to your ground zero. Start off with longing so that it can create a sense of bonding and a sense of belonging between your dreams and reality. Then, don't just aspire. Grow your acumen. Have the ability of taking the right decisions quickly at the right time. After that, whatever be the task, don't say no. Try to multitask. That M can make you a maverick. And finally, no matter how severe, please do remember to persevere. And if you do that, you, like me, would have found that lamp, and with it, the magic to change the world. Thank you.